are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Wednesday, or as Tony would say, it's hump day, Brian.
You say that.
And we have Domac here as well. How you fellas doing?
I'm doing great, dude. Beautiful hump day out there. A little rainy, a little overcast, but it's nice and cool for me, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. Let's fucking go, dude. A nice overcast day every once in a while.
I'm guessing when you walked in here, it was free. It was a hot box.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
Window wide open, door open. I'm surprised your shorts are on.
I think you left the door open.
Oh, stop, Tony.
I can't. I'm teaching today. No shorts. Can't teach in shorts
today.
Dude.
Okay.
So,
but it's nice. The weather is trending in a positive direction. And it's just gonna keep going up from here. So that's obviously
that's what they say, dude.
Sick.
That's obviously a great thing. And already. We do have a couple super fans in the building.
Super fans, Brian?
Yeah, super fans.
All right, so we're starting off with a Josh B. Let's go. Here it is.
Let's go!
What's up, fam? Happy hump day. Hashtag TCA, hashtag Sportsport, hashtag DTV. And then Kev Do with another Let's go. I have a little service. We want the smoke. I'm working in the old MSG. Hashtag TCA, hashtag DTV, hashtag Sportsport. Then he goes on to say Josh Kick Rocks and Brian the Yankee fanboy.
He loves his call-outs. He really does.
You getting tight?
Not tight. I almost feel bad for Kev Do, honestly. That he's not just a Yankee fan. It would be so much easier. It wouldn't have to be so tight all the time.
I really think it's the Madden, to be honest. I think that's the underlying thing here.
But I just don't get, like, what did he expect? Like, he's just not going to play forever and then just walk in here and kick my ass? Like, I don't understand why he thought that was going to happen.
I think maybe he thought he was going to at least put up a good fight.
Yeah. I guess I could see that. I could see that.
Would you give him a rematch or do it again? Like a 2 out of 3 scenario?
Tony.
In a couple games, warm up.
Anytime. When do I back down from a challenge?
I don't know.
No reason to.
One day.
No reason to.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Oh, man. So, yeah, a lot going on right now. And where I want to start is the golf course. So we do have tomorrow is going to be the beginning of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. A terrible name, and I know the PGA Tour, especially with these live defections, they're scrambling for sponsors, so you get it. But you guys are telling me that the Honda Classic didn't have a little better ring to it.
No, yeah, totally. And Cognizant, I'm looking them up, by the way, multinational information technology services and consulting company based out of Teaneck, New Jersey, dude.
There we go.
I mean, that's just spells issues, dude.
Yeah, and this company in New Jersey thinks that they should be sponsoring a tour event in Palm Beach.
And Teaneck, of all places.
And we do have Nithin in the building. Good to have him back.
Been a while.
He's saying, what's up, guys? Shout out the company. And what's up, Josh and Kev Do?
What up? So this tournament is held at the PGA National Resort and Spa Champion Course. It has been the host course since 2007. And of course, this is Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And you look at, the history of this event, going back a couple years. Last year, despite, a limited field, I think the field this year is a little better. We saw Chris Kirk return to the winner's circle for the first time. I believe it was like 8 years, something like that.
Wow.
An exciting playoff against Rookie of the Year Eric Cole. So he had the winning score at 14 under. Year before, we saw Sepp Straka win one shot clear of Shane Lowry. 2021, the Aussie Matt Jones ran away with it at 12 under par. And then also 2020 Sunjay Im, 6 under par, 1 shot clear of Mackenzie Hughes. 2019, we saw Keith Mitchell at 9 under, 1 shot clear of Ricky Fowler and Brooks Koepka. 2018, JT 8 under in a playoff over Luke List. And 2017, we saw Ricky Fowler, who will be playing this week, was 12 under and had a 4-shot win over Morgan Hoffman and Gary Woodland. Kind of interesting. The scoring, the players have done better the last couple years, but a lot of single digits under par. So
yeah, notice that.
Yeah.
and I don't know too, this time of year, Florida, wild card, in terms of the weather. Last time I checked, looked like it was going to be pretty good there. Combination of high 60s, low 70s, not really much rain left in the forecast. So good to see that. Such a beautiful course, and it's nice that the field is a little better this year, because it's really struggled in recent years, usually sandwiched in between signature events. But this year, of course, last week was the Mexico Open. Next week is the signature event in the Arnold Palmer, but you definitely have guys looking to return to form in terms of, why they're playing this event and to prepare themselves for Bay Hill. So, looking at the PGA Tour.com power rankings, they have Eric Cole number 1, obviously lost in the playoff to Chris Kirk, who they have number 2. You have Byung-Hun An 3rd, Russell Henley 4th, Rory McIlroy, who won here 12 years ago, is playing for the first time in this tournament since 2018. Steven Yeager, you have Sepp Straka, a former champion, Keith Mitchell, a former champion, JT Poston, Shane Lowry, Matthew Pavone, Rasmus Højgaard, CT Pan, Eric Van Rooyen, last week's first round leader, and Robert McIntyre in the field, as well as some other, veteran golfers. And tee times beginning at 6:45 tomorrow. Wow, we're back, on the East Coast.
That's early.
And I just wanted to see here too. I just want to make sure, because sometimes the power rankings doesn't always, list like some of the better golfers just based on how they feel they play at this course.
Really?
Tom Kim, Matt Fitzpatrick, Cam Young. Like I mentioned, Ricky Fowler, also Lucas Glover, JT Poston, Minwoo Lee, Justin Rose, last week's winner in Jake Knapp. You also have Corey Connors, Denny McCarthy, Tom Hoagie, Christian Bezenhot, and let's see, Thomas Dietrich, Nick Dunlap, who just turned pro earlier this year after that victory, Matt Kuchar as well. So just to give you guys an idea of some of the other names that have made their way into the field, and definitely, especially if we're comparing to last week, a highly improved field. You have 2 golfers in the top 10 in Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick. So when you guys, look at this field, whoever wants to start here, what are you thinking for a winner and a sleeper for the Cognizant Classic?
Cognizant
Classic.
I know. Fuck that company, dude.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, I'm so
dude.
pissed.
Is it really that tough for them to get in sponsors and shit? Like,
yeah,
come on,
because
dude.
of Live.
That's so tough.
Look at this field, though. You know what I mean? They're paying $25 million to see Matthew Fitzpatrick be the second highest ranked golfer in the field. I mean, come on.
That is tough, dude. But anyway, if I had to choose a winner here, I'm gonna go with JT Poston.
Interesting.
You think it is interesting?
I do.
I think that he's an absolute lock to be a top 5, which would obviously put him in good contention to win this tournament this weekend. I don't know, just based on really how he's been performing so far this season. Started off pretty hot, dude. Century, Sony Open, American Express, all within top 10 finishes there. I guess top 11 at Amex. And then had some trouble at Pebble Beach, cut in Phoenix, but then finished in the top 10 last week at Genesis. So I just think the way he's trending back upward, give me the Postman to win this one, dude.
Wow,
I love it.
Okay, and then what about a sleeper?
I don't know. I was trying to go like pretty off the cuff here, but I guess give me a name that Brian is familiar with in Lee Hodges.
Okay.
Give me the Bama boy.
Won the 3M last year, I believe.
That is correct, dude.
All right. So Lee
So
Hodges.
let's go, baby. Cognizant.
And one like bonus question for you here, Tony. Obviously, the most heralded golfer in this field is Rory McIlroy. Looking to complete the career Grand Slam in April there at the Masters. Hasn't played great recently. Has won this tournament before. What are you expecting to see out of him this week?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, looking at him again, you said it. He has been playing well recently. I don't know. I would say maybe he starts out kind of hot. Maybe I don't know. I mean, look at him in Genesis. I mean, opening round shot of 74.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't really got off to a great start, I feel. Pebble Beach started 71 in round 1, 74 in round 2.
And I think at Pebble Beach, too, the front 9, he was like 4 under. And then just completely chunked it on the back.
Like, that's so crazy to me, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not really expecting a lot out of him. Why is he favorited? Just because he's probably
he's second overall in the
ranking. Yeah.
So that's why you're up there. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really liked the way he's trending. And I know, in the majors, you look at it. I mean, he's had some good finishes, but also some collapses. So not a guy that I don't know. I think, like I had said, he needs to win a big tournament to kind of regain his confidence and then go from there. But until then, I think it's going to be a struggle for Rory McIlroy.
Do you think this could be a win for him?
I guess you'll find out in a second, Tony. Jumping the gun there. Any thoughts here, Domek?
All right. I'm thinking Matt Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Just because it's a gut feeling. I was looking at the field, I was seeing what's going on, and I kind of like Matt Fitzpatrick. So I'm gonna go with Matt Fitzpatrick. And as a sleeper, I think he's got to win one eventually. He's got to win. I'm picking Joel Damon.
Wow.
Because I when I'm watching the full swing, obviously he's my favorite out of everyone I watched on there, and it's like, I know, like, it seems like he just doesn't care sometimes, but like eventually, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, eventually it's got to happen.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it's going to happen on a signature event. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe an event like this would be perfect for it, but we'll see.
No. And the funny part about that is, speaking of full swing, remember in it, he goes, yeah, I mean, somebody has to be the 85th ranked golfer in the world. But then right after that, he finishes top 10 at the PGA.
Yeah.
So clearly, the ability is there. That's for sure. So for my winner,
what do you got,
I'm
Brian?
gonna go with somebody who hasn't been exactly lighting the world on fire. But give me Ricky Fowler, the Florida native. Hasn't done great in his tournaments up to this point, but historically he's played well here. And I just think that we're gonna see him revert to form, a place that he's comfortable in his home state. So I like Ricky Fowler to get back into the winner's circle. And we're going to go deep here on a sleeper. Let's go with Francisco Molinari, down to 236th in the world right now. The former Open champion really had a good run in majors and going head to head with Tiger. But whether it's injury, poor performance, he just has struggled of recent. And I could just see this being a place, especially if we get favorable conditions, that he will have some success. So let's see, what happens, in regards to that.
Weather report in Florida is going to be good?
Let me actually check that right now.
Could be rainy, dude. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know with Florida, but I've been kind of checking this. I just haven't checked today. Okay, so tomorrow, cloudy and 80. Friday, cloudy and 79. Saturday, cloudy and 81. Sunday, partly cloudy and 81. So basically, we're playing in Puerto Vallarta again this week. Weather should be pretty nice. So that's always, a positive sign. And I was just going to look up too, what we got for TV coverage. I know this is a stretch right now, leading up to the Masters where NBC, and Golf Channel pretty much have every event. But let's just see here. Okay, so TV guy, so Golf Digest, always a good source for this. All right, Golf Channel live coverage Thursday and Friday from 2 to 6. Saturday and Sunday, golf has it from 1 to 3. NBC taking over with late afternoon coverage from 3 to 6. And then PGA Tour live starting at 6:45 to 6 p.m. every day. So Thursday to Sunday. So lots of coverage here. And PGA National, definitely a beautiful golf course there in West Palm. As we prepare for major season, and Tony Riley's talked about how he's really excited for Bay Hill next week, where we'll see all the top golfers in the world. So the winner who is not in that field for next week, a win here would get them in. So some added motivation for some of those guys that are a little more unheralded. So nevertheless, should be a fun tournament, and I believe we have some other comments here.
Yeah, we do get some comments. Ethan chimed in and was saying if anyone was interested, he's got an event with Daryl Strawberry Sunday, March 3rd. Woodbridge Brewing Company, 5 to 7 p.m.
The Woodbridge Brewing Company, March 3rd. Not going to be around for that.
Yeah.
The
shoe.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and then they got some back and forth with Josh B. And then supposedly some breaking news that the Chiefs are releasing MVS.
So some breaking news there. Be interesting to see if they try to bring him back, reduce salary, or I wouldn't be surprised actually though if they just let him go, just because I think he obviously had some big catches down the stretch, but they're really looking to improve upon that wide receiver position. So you would think they would want a better, I guess number 2, since Rashee Rice will be number 1. So
and then Josh B said now Aaron's gonna want him on the Jets SMH.
He better not. But I don't know. I was talking to you guys about this before the show with the Jets. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like I almost don't even care anymore. Like I feel like I'll get riled. Let's say they start 4-0 next year. But until I see it, I just don't know if I can have any type of emotional investment into it.
Right.
I don't know.
I totally agree.
I don't know why so many people last year even if I, as a fan, if I was a Jets fan, if my star quarterback and I knew that the team kind of almost hinges on him, I felt like your guys' expectation after he got hurt, in my opinion, was still way too high. After he got hurt, if I was a fan, I'd be like, all right, pack it up next year.
Right.
And now that he's here and supposedly he's ready to go, I'd be pumped because now this is the same thing as last year, but I think we're even a little better. They all got a year together. The chemistry's a little better. If I'm a Jets fan, I'd be pumped more this year than I was last year.
There's so many things though that go ahead, Tony.
No, I was trying to get pumped. I forget who was on whatever they were playing some bite on Rick and Dave this morning, talking about how phenomenally ridiculous Aaron Rodgers is at being a quarterback. So I don't know, that was trying to get me pumped up. It may have been Wilson, honestly.
Zach Wilson?
No.
Garrett Wilson.
Excuse me. Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the things that really concern me, Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett. And I know Rodgers is comfortable with both, especially Nathaniel Hackett, but I feel like Robert Saleh is really a joke.
He does seem like a joke, dude.
Yeah. No command of the locker room. Can you really I guess it's one of those things every single thing has to go right in order to win a title with him as your head coach.
But I think that if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, that's kind of that everything, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, offensive. Well, I guess the line goes hand in hand because the line's bad. Then he's obviously going to get hurt.
Right.
But also, what they do at the wide receiver position, the Raiders have come out and said that they're not going to trade Adams. So it's what's the pivot for you need another receiver. So who is that?
Scantling.
And
how old is he?
He's probably, if I had to guess, he's probably 27, but it's just he's mediocre. He can get down the field, but he doesn't have sure hands.
29.
Okay. I know obviously he has the connection. Yeah. Josh is right though. Now that I'm thinking about it more and more, he probably is going to try to bring him in, especially if Adams isn't coming to town.
Definitely.
And it's I guess Alan Lazard's still there, but you couldn't have had a worse first year as a Jet.
Alan Lazard, yeah. You think he's kind of too old?
No, he's not too old. He just I don't know. I don't know what his issue is, to be honest. I guess he's just not good. Maybe that changes, with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. But again, this offseason is just so big. You have to really add some talent here. for sure.
I thought Alan Lazard was much older than what he actually
27?
is, dude. It's 28.
28.
Yeah.
Okay. Undrafted, I believe. Some weird college, right?
College. Trying to see.
I feel like it's like a Division II or something.
Let's see. College. He went to Iowa State.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
That makes sense because he is from Des Moines.
There we go. There we go. So a little Des Moines action there, Tony.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep.
And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So spring training rolls on here as we approach March. The Yankees in action yesterday, playing the Tampa Bay Rays, losing 4-2. Clark Schmidt making his spring debut, goes 2 innings and gives up 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, striking out 2. So just getting some work in. Those results not too bad. Also guys, of notice here, Will Warren, a guy that, will start the year in AAA, but, what is what you want to call your 6th, 7th, 8th starter, and has some expectations after a pretty good year in the minors last year. Goes 2 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. Nick Ramirez, who was on the Yankees last year, 1 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 K, and allows a home run. He might be on the outs in terms of the roster just because, they already have 2 lefties that they acquired this offseason, in Caleb Ferguson and then Victor Gonzalez. So that's something to keep an eye out for. He was pretty good in his relief appearances last year. And, after the trades this offseason where they got rid of some of their pitching, Chase Hampton, kind of regarded as their top or one of the top pitching prospects in the organization, did pitch a scoreless 8th inning, striking out 2. So good to see that. Obviously, you score 2 runs, not too much to speak of offensively, but Anthony Volpe did have a RBI triple. So good to see that. And then, Austin Wells, unfortunately, striking out 3 times in 3 plate appearances. But again, spring training, you don't look into it too much. And yeah, that's really it. Vivas only got 1 at bat had a walk as well. So 2 at bats, but didn't do anything there. So that's really, all you could point to. I guess news did come out too. I don't know. I think it's like 2 weeks or something. I don't know if you saw anything on this, Domac, but I guess Peraza injured his shoulder or something.
No shit.
So they're talking,
you don't know shit, Domac.
At this point, I might as well just look it up. But they're saying, that's a setback. Now is he gonna make the roster? And I just feel like enough with the jerking around. The guy's been a top. Let me just actually see what the injury. Scratched due to right shoulder tightness. Let's see. Was scratched right shoulder tightness that he experienced on Monday. I'm hoping he's back in there maybe Thursday or Friday, Boone said after the loss yesterday. We'll see. Seemed a lot better. Okay, so not a big deal. But my whole thing there is, I know you look at the numbers, Domac. They're not good that since he's gotten opportunities in the major leagues. But again, almost reminded me of Estevan Florial. He hasn't had a month of just playing every day. So I just hope let's have him on the roster and let's have him make a start or 2 a week. I think he could be a good player if we put him on the shuttle to Scranton, bring him up and down, and then just use him as a pitch runner. He's going to be one of those prospects that we wasted and get nothing for and end up releasing.
No, definitely. I feel I don't know. I'm big on you got to let them play.
Right.
If we don't have the time to let them play, then that's a different story. But why can't they come up for a month and you just slide them in once a week, twice a week, and just let them play? Because if they play once and then they don't see the field for 3 weeks, how are they supposed to adjust and get used to the in-game pitching and get used to the in-game pressure? You know what I mean? Or even the fans, get used to the yelling and the screaming compared to minor leagues, which has the complete opposite fan base, obviously. So I just don't know how does Boone sit there and expect him to he's going to come in 3 weeks later and perform?
Yeah. I mean, and we'll see what they do with him. I mean, I would imagine he's going to start on the major league roster, and I just feel like it's a perfect situation if they handle it right because DJ LeMahieu is penciled in as your starting third baseman. He's obviously getting older. He plays other positions. He's not going to be playing 150 games starting at third base, so there should be enough playing time for them if they handle it the right way.
100%.
And of course, Josh B, CS Montflorio. I do think though they did botch that, and again with him, I know like strikeout rate and all like contact rate and all that stuff wasn't great, but again, he didn't get the opportunity. And then you think about the guys that were playing last year, kind of ridiculous, especially in a year that we didn't make the playoffs, that he couldn't get a month worth of at bats just to see, and maybe he won't end up being anything, but I don't know. I had a feeling that he could.
It didn't hurt to try.
I liked him in the field. I thought he had power, speed. So that was disappointing. Nathan also saying March 8th, 9th, and 10th, triple header, Devils week at Woodbridge Brewing Company. So Michael will have to pass that information along to him.
Yeah, dude. Also, Sacred Heart College hockey playoffs that weekend, dude.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be pulling in some work.
So I feel like I've probably asked you this before, Tony, but because I know like the Frozen Four, but is there like regionals and then like an NCAA tournament? Like do you know how that works? Like what figure out, like if they win their conference tournament, then do they go on to the NCAA tournament?
As far as I know, that is what it is.
Okay.
They win their conference tournament, then yes, they go on.
And I'm guessing like they haven't ever made a Frozen Four.
No,
right?
definitely
I mean, obviously
not.
tough to do that.
Yeah, very tough to do that.
And then let's see. He also says
He's
Nico on
telling
the
us
8th,
the
10,
days.
Dianco on the 9th, Nate Bastian on the 10th. And he also says, which we love to hear this, Yankees look great in spring training so far. Don't tell Kev do.
Which he's having Devils players.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's a cool opportunity there. But so with Peraza, we'll see what happens. If you think too, a year ago, coming into spring training, Domek, he was actually the favorite over Volpe to get the job. And now we're just like, what are we doing? Like, but I don't know. I really hope that going forward, he could be the future either second baseman or third baseman. He's got speed, you know, and I think he could be a contact hitter. So it'll be interesting to see, what happens. Also, Josh B says, wish I could have made the one you had Will Cooley, the Ranger over there. And he also says,
get the fuck out of here.
Woodbridge Brewing Company is so close to him.
Never been.
What's an interesting one, Domek? I'm just thinking about like with Florio and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know injuries and he wasn't great, but again, after that 1 year, they didn't really like play him like a ton when he was healthy. Andujar.
Yeah.
That one hurt. I thought he was going to be great. He was my favorite player when he came up in 2018.
I did too. And I really thought he was going to be good. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like a lot of times, like with the Yankees, like even with Florio, I feel like there's got to be something else going on.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too weird to just kind of like go, like do the way they've been treating him. Like, I don't know. There's got to be something else going on because I feel like the eye test, it doesn't seem like why not? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like looking at the eye test doesn't look like he's failing or like he's bad. You know what I mean?
I think, and I forget the name, but somebody who used to be in the system last year came out and said that like they're not teaching basic fundamental hitting and it's all about hitting the ball out of the park.
Yes, I did see that. I saw that they're worried about like home runs and power hitting and not
The
just
hell is that
like
about?
fundamental stuff.
Come on.
I don't
guys.
know. But then it's like I know, of course, like the average wasn't great last year, but I think winning a Gold Glove, going 2020, I mean, like seems like Volpe, was developed the right way, and I'm really expecting him to improve upon himself. Same thing with Austin Wells, and then of course, in the very short sample size, what Jason Dominguez did. So there's kind of both angles of it. So it's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
And like when you think of like I guess Volpe and like Wells, for instance, like do you like in the future project them to be near all-star level, or is it one of those things like you're just not sure just yet?
I mean, I think if Volpe plays, if Volpe offensively is just a lot better, I think he would, because I mean defensively he won a Gold Glove. I don't see why.
Right.
Like if he just upgrades his offense, I don't see why he can be an all-star this year. And then when it comes to Wells. I mean, I feel like the catcher position is kind of like every year because I feel like catchers are like always not the best offensively hitting other than a few. I feel like the catcher position is always wide open.
Okay.
So I feel like if he just has a good year, like a good solid year up with like the other top pitchers in the American or catchers in the American League, I think he has a shot. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I do too. It's so rare to get a good offensive catcher. The fact that he's left-handed, and I think the Yankees really like him. There's been some talk, that he's really improved his defense over this offseason as well. So definitely something to keep an eye out for sure. And the Yankees unfortunately off today. But we'll be back in action tomorrow hosting the Florida Marlins at George M. Steinbrenner Field, Tony. And Clayton Beater had a relief appearance, I guess gave up a run in an inning, will make his first spring start.
There we go.
Of course, came over in the Joey Gallo deal a couple of years ago. Some high expectations. I think he struggled when getting moved up to AAA last year, but good velocity on the fastball. So something to watch. And this one 6:35. So interesting start time and only available on the Yes app.
Wow.
I mean, I figured you'd have something to add about this Yankee talk. No, Tony? Anything else? Kind of catch your eye so far up to this point? 5 games into spring training for the Yankees.
No, I mean nothing that you guys haven't already hit on. I mean, spring training.
What are your expectations for Volpe this year?
I mean, I think he's gonna have, I guess you could call it a bounce back-ish year.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see him be pretty consistent through the whole season, though. Is really what I think. Another year under his belt, feel more comfortable. And I think honestly, given the expected uptick of offense from everyone else, I would think he's gonna be riding that wave. Like the whole team's gonna kind of lift him up too.
Right.
He's gonna kind of feed off of that. So
yeah, exactly. And I just be active on the base paths. That's one of his best strengths. So be interesting to see how he develops as the season goes on. We did see the Mets 7-1 yesterday.
Yeah,
over the Marlins. Adrian Hauser, 2 scoreless innings in the start.
2 scoreless innings in his first start here. First appearance actually as a Met. Pretty cool, I guess, to see that. He was throwing the ball pretty well. He relies a lot on his fastball and his sinker, mixing in his changeup. His fastball, I think, tops off at 94, 95 maybe now. But consistently he's throwing 93. But again, he does rely on those off-speed pitches a little bit more to get strikeouts, which is great. G-Man Choi hit an absolute dinger yesterday too. I don't know if he was bombed.
I have to say, I mean, between him and Voit, those are some good low-level pickups for the Mets. Just see what they have.
Yeah, Voit is looking. He didn't play yesterday at all.
But he homered the other day. Or no, he just had a couple
hits.
Okay.
He got hit by a pitch too, I think 2 days ago. I'm looking pretty tight about it, actually.
How's he looking shape-wise?
He looks like he's been looking. He's he's bulky.
Yeah.
Looks like he can use a few pounds of
but
fat.
not Vogelback.
No.
I saw him play the other day
dude.
against the Yankees.
Toronto, dude.
Oh, like a moose.
It's over for him, dude. That guy. Ridiculous. But yeah, so and then Taylor's been hitting the ball well, actually. Which is pretty solid to see out of him. The other acquisition from the Brewers there. Alvarez 0 for 2 yesterday. Some no names got some hits. Rannon, Allen. So it's cool to see the rotation get in there. Acuna, again, getting some looks at second base here, which is great. Keep getting him reps there, getting more comfortable at the position. Because we were talking about yesterday, I mean, he's going to probably make his Met debut here this year. And the more comfortable he is at second base, playing with Lindor, the better, especially for that defense. And then Vientos, I don't know, man. I mean, he hasn't really impressed me at all yet this spring training. Another 0 for 3 game for him yesterday. So
says he's hitting 286 though. So I guess the first game he had a couple hits. Or
and then that was it.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, I feel like that's what I'm not looking for. I'd rather have 1 for 3, 1 for 3, 1 for 3 for a little while. But I guess he's getting some, defensive looks at third base. Looks good on defense. Looks like he sees the ball well in the field. So that's nice there. But we'll see another game today. Mets don't have an off day.
They definitely have one coming up.
They probably
have one on Thursday.
I think I think it's Friday, honestly.
Oh, Friday off day.
Yeah, I could be
Okay.
wrong though. Maybe tomorrow when they play Friday. But anyway, I think we got Reed Garrett pitching today, dude.
ERA 7.11.
Yeah.
In like 44 career innings.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I hope he doesn't even make the roster. Like he, bullpen guy for us for the past couple of years, gets absolutely popped. He's just one of those guys you don't want to see in your lineup. So
Mets play Thursday and Friday.
Wow. Off Saturday? Must be.
And Saturday.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. No way.
And Sunday. They have to be off Monday. Yeah, off Monday. So
That's kind of a crazy schedule, though.
it is.
I bet the Yankees have like 2 off days in between there, dude.
No, they actually don't really have many more off days. Just looking at this. So they're off, obviously today, and then they're actually not off till the 19th.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a lot of games.
I mean, we talked about it. That's what they should be doing every day, really, with all these different split squads and shit like that. So, again, everyone reps. Didn't see any Zach Short yesterday. We'll be on the lookout for that. So we'll see.
Marte, spring debut today.
Tomorrow, today, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Which is great. I mean, Carlos Mendoza, our guy, says he's healthy, ready to play, going to be competitive. So we'll see. I believe he's leading off.
So you got Marte,
today.
Lindor, Alonso, DJ Stewart, Vientos, Beatty, Thompson, Sanchez, Nito. Who's Sanchez?
That's a good question.
Yomar Sanchez. Okay, he used to be on the
older
White
guy,
Sox.
right? Yes,
31.
the White Sox guy. The White Sox guy. That's correct.
Yeah, was with the White Sox actually from 2012 through 2019.
Yeah, I don't think we like him. I think we talked about it maybe earlier this week.
He never plays.
Not worth
like he
it,
plays
dude.
like 20 games a season.
Not
weird.
worth our time.
And you were mentioning Acuna. And obviously you want to do the right thing in terms of like development, but how you're saying like, oh, we should see him sometime this year. Like, don't you think he should just start on the roster?
Yes, I do at this point. But it's just, I mean, it's going to be tricky what Mendoza does. Where is he going to start? Who's he going to replace?
Well, so I'm just trying to think, is McNeil that great at second or no?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great middle infielder.
But I'm
Great at
saying,
second.
I mean, couldn't you like between him, Beatty, and then Acuna just kind of like rotate with DH?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, dude. The last thing I would want to see though is how they were dealing with how they were working with Vientos last year in that, because he was rotating a lot at DH, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like for a young player to get moved around a lot.
But I'm saying, why not just
have
Acuna as your starting second baseman,
yeah,
and then just have McNeil be the DH or third baseman, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do McNeil third base. No, McNeil honestly DH. I'd rather see Beatty getting looks at third.
But you know
base.
what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah,
like,
I guess they might as well do that.
But you're kind of thinking like probably at least half the season in AAA for Acuna, depending on how he does. If he's like ripping the cover off the ball, maybe things move
I
up.
would think the first 3 months.
Yeah, which is annoying, obviously. And then,
but who knows? I mean, again, I would imagine like DJ's getting some nods at DH. So is Vientos.
But like, should he even be on the roster? He's gonna suck this year. I know he had his good moments last year, but he's gonna be brutal.
I mean, I said it last year. He kind of looked like he earned a spot. You know, like even though it was freaking garbage time of the season and didn't really make a difference. But he looked great out in the outfield. He looked great at the plate. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, he's definitely not getting the start in the outfield. That's for sure. I mean,
it seems like a waste of a roster spot.
Yeah.
And for the most part, sure, certain guys you might want to take a chance on, like a Luke Voigt or Ji-Man Choi. But other than that, you really want to be having these roster spots for younger guys in your system.
Yeah, I know. You're right, dude. I guess if I was Mendoza, I probably would maybe do that.
Yeah. So be interesting to see how they handle that one.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So this game should be on SNY, I think.
It is 1 o'clock.
Okay, 1 o'clock. And Miles Mikolos towing the slab on the other side.
Yeah, he should get popped today, dude.
Spring rolling along here, but definitely so pumped as we get closer and closer to opening day. And also a couple other things here. Michael rallied for Bitcoin, 61,000. I believe 1 year ago we were below 20,000, so tripling up and then some. So obviously that's great stuff there. Nathan also said Chiefs have placed a tag on L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback, and Josh B trying to see if he can swing the Jacob Trouba event at Woodbridge Brewing Company on the 24th. $99 a head, but I got some inside information. I guess real Ranger fans, they're saying it's free. I think
Who
somebody
said
told me
that?
that.
Really? No way, dude.
So some interesting stuff there. And I guess with Snead, I don't know if you've heard anything, Domac, but I guess like they're saying maybe a trade there because he wants a lot of money, and someone even suggested trading him straight up for Jalen Waddle.
I'm personally all for, like, if I'm organization, I think I got a player at its peak.
Trade.
And I think, like, the next couple of years, like maybe we're getting 2 more years out of peak Snead.
Mhm.
If it's even worth it to trade it, then I would trade it. Like, I heard rumblings during the offseason where people were saying, like, oh, Garrett Cole with his Cy Young, like, how many more Cy Young years is he gonna have?
Shut
Like,
the
would it be
fuck
worth
up.
to
That's
trade
different.
it? Now, I didn't say we should do it, but
Yeah.
I see where they're coming from. Like, if he falls off,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gonna, but is he gonna win another Cy Young? Maybe, but I'm just saying, like,
He probably will, honestly.
I hope he
Yeah.
does, but in the next 3 years, if he doesn't, then his value now compared in 3 years is going to be worse. Obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's in that less than 1% category.
Yeah, he's not in the Snead category. Like him,
Yeah.
they're not on the same level. But yes, I agree. I think Snead would be a good piece to trade because I think you get a lot of value for him right now.
But it's interesting because obviously, like, Miami needs a corner. They have Ramsey, but they just released Xavier Howard. But it's like you would think they wouldn't want to, like, just give the Chiefs Jalen Waddle.
Yes, but can they? Do they pay the both of them? Can they pay the both of them, Hill and Waddle?
So they paid Hill, Waddle. I guess that's what they're saying because they haven't done the new contract with Tua yet.
Yeah.
But I just think it's tough though because maybe just everyone like doesn't want to give the Chiefs a wide receiver, but then obviously they'll draft somebody or get a free agent.
I feel like you say the same too about the Bengals too, because like, are they going to pay?
So they franchised Higgins.
Okay.
And then, but I guess it's like they might trade him. But I don't know. Coming off a year where they missed the playoffs, Joe Burrow missed most of the year. I mean, I think you got to just say, like, let's just go for the Super Bowl this year and then, like, worry about that after.
Worry about the money later.
Because I think you could, obviously, they have to pay a lot and then they could explore a trade, but, like, they could tag him again next year and then trade him.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I just think the time is now with
Definitely.
the Bengals for sure. So NFL draft will be here before we know it too.
Yeah.
We're about 2 months away from that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. Great hit. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rick Washington made the full split save. Are you kidding me? Turn. Side of the net between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pasternak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Right. All right. So a busy night in the NHL last night. A bunch of picks were made. I don't know how great mine were, but I guess we're going to find out in a second.
I don't think anything was great about it again, dude.
Let me know when you're prepared, sir.
I'm ready right now for the picks.
All
Let's go.
So Leafs in the over would be 1-1, right?
1, yep.
Canadians in the under.
That's the under 6.5. Yes, that's 2 points right there.
Oh, okay. So that's
you got 3.
No, but it's record. So we're 3 and 1.
3-1. Yeah,
3-1. Capitals in the over.
1.
Okay, so 4 and
no, sorry,
4
3
and
2. 3 and 2.
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Panthers in the over.
1.
So 5 and 3.
5 and
Flyers
3.
in the under.
7 and 3.
Predators in the under.
9 and 3.
Hurricanes in the over.
10 and 4.
Blues in the over.
10 and 6.
Flames in the over.
11 and 7.
Avalanche in the over.
12 and 8.
Penguins in the over.
14 and 8.
Sharks in the under.
14 and 10.
Okay, so 14 and 10 brings me to 18 and 14. And then we'll go to you here. Let's see. Okay, so Knights in the under.
1 and 1.
Canadians in the over.
2 and 2.
Red Wings in the over.
4-2.
Panthers in the under.
6-2.
Lightning in the over.
7-3.
Predators in the under.
9-3.
Hurricanes in the under.
11-3.
Jets in the over.
12-4.
Kings in the over.
12-6.
Avalanche in the over.
13-7.
Canucks in the under.
13-9.
Devils in the under.
14-10.
Okay, so 16-16.
Mm-hmm.
So 18-14 versus 16-16 after all that. Kind of crazy. Tony,
Kind of
no?
crazy is right
Okay.
for all that, dude. Shut the fuck up, Domac.
Let me just write this in here, and then 16-16. So obviously, we had a lot of action last night. Definitely was surprised that the Maple Leafs got handled the way that they did, but maybe just kind of a revenge spot for the Knights. And also, I think they had been due to kind of have a big offensive game. Seemed like we hadn't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. And against a good team like the Maple Leafs too, I think the Knights really need that. I think they were on they lost 4 of the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Going on a little bit of a skid there that we don't see very often. So, but again, I've said it. Great teams always have little glimpses of bad stretches. So, you'd imagine they're out of it now, though.
Yeah. And then you also had the Red Wings 8-3.
We knew
one of
that,
your favorite teams here. Capitals have been playing well, but not this game.
No.
Larkin also picks up his 26. The guy you like too, Alex DeBrincat.
DeBrincat.
With his 23rd as well. So Detroit moves to 33-20. Like you could see them winning a playoff series or no?
Yeah, I could see them upsetting someone, dude. They would be one of my picks to be the upset.
Kane and Larkin obviously have to be dialed.
Yeah,
with DeBrincat.
DeBrincat. Yeah, and David Perron, also very good veteran player. But if their goaltender Lyon, if he does well, like they can certainly upset a higher seed in the playoffs.
One that would be interesting is just thinking about the playoffs. What about the Flyers as an upset candidate? 6-2 yesterday at home against the Lightning. Now 31-22-7 on the season.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They're another team too. Tyson Forster. I don't know if you saw his goal.
Ridiculous.
Kind of crazy, dude. So they have a tremendous amount of talent, obviously mixed with some veteran players, a lot of young players in that team too. I think they're like all their defensemen are like 24 and under, mostly anyway. But and then they're led by Tortorella. And it's another scenario too where Carter Hart is out right now. They have a backup tender and Sam Urson, and just like the Red Wings, their backup tender is doing really well. So if come playoff time, if he can hold it together, that team led by Tortorella, who's had plenty of playoff experience, they certainly could be able to get it done.
And another strong team in the East, the Hurricanes, 35th win of the year, 3-2 in Minnesota over the Wild. Jordan Stahl with a goal and an assist, and Kochkinov, the young tender, 28 saves, good for a .933 save percentage. Seems like recently all they do is win. Hurricanes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Michael Bunting has been a huge addition to their team this entire season. I mean, just eats up shots, dude. Like he's a shot making machine. Great job to kind of, I guess apply pressure offensively, and then it frees up, players like Svechnikov and Jordan Stahl, who's still in the league, to be able to get goals. And then, like you said it, dude, Kochikov, they're another team who had a goaltending issues beginning of the year with Ronta, with Anderson. And we saw, Kochikov last year, and we were all about him, I thought. So exactly. I think him finally getting some more playing time too. .933 save percentage last night against a decent Wild team. We've seen the Wild win some heavy hitting games this season. So obviously Hurricanes are a better all around team, but to get the job done here, it's great.
Did it hurt to see the Flames take out the Kings 4-2? Another loss for the Kings.
Yeah, dude, the Kings. I mean, I guess no pun intended. The Flames have been kind of heating up, I guess.
Right.
But still, I think the Kings should have been able to beat them. I think pretty handily. But obviously they didn't. I mean, you want to look at this game right here in terms of just like the team stats. The Flames just having more offense, 37 shots on goal. The Kings being 0 for 3 on the power play. I mean, come on, you got to do better than that. Not playing very physical, only 22 hits. The Flames just playing more physical. They were clogging up shooting lanes. If you look at some of these highlights too, I don't know. The Kings just didn't really play very well. Getting not a good start. No goals in the first. No goals in the third either. Too. They just didn't show up. And I was saying it all season. Not all season. I guess recently, since the Kings have been on the skid, their bottom six haven't been doing good. Quinton Byfield is someone supposed to be really, really good. Nothing. You got players like Kevin Fiala who are continually, contributing to this team. A goal and assist he had last night. But you need more. You need more from your bottom six. Kopitar had an assist, I think, on that Fiala goal. Drew Doughty is putting in his work as a defenseman, being one of the higher paid players too around the league. Also, probably one of the more veteran players too. You need to ask more from some of your support players here if the Kings want to. I guess make a splash in the playoffs. We'll see, dude. I think they'll heat back up.
Another team that has been struggling, the Stars, fall 5-1 in Colorado. Losses have been aplenty recently for the Stars. And you look at Ottinger, 22 of 27 last night, versus Georgiev, who had one of his best starts of the season here, 33 of 34 in net. You also saw Rantanen is 31st, McKinnon is 35th, as well as goals from Kervanta, Colangelo, and Lekakinen with his 9th on a power play. Colorado, who had been struggling, is up to 36 wins on the season. Dallas sitting at 35. Recent struggles, though, I know they've been strong all season.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some time here to turn this around. But obviously, the way they've been playing recently, has to be a little concerning.
Yeah, I mean, it's another team, kind of like what Vegas is going through. I mean, Dallas now, I believe, have dropped 6 of their last 7 games.
Crazy.
We saw them, lose to the Rangers, and then they lost like 4-1 against the Senators. They lost against the Islanders 3-2 as well. And now obviously here against the Avalanche 5-1. I think, this game definitely a combination of both. I mean, the Avalanche have kind of been heating up. 5 goals were scored in the first 2 periods by the Avalanche. They were just all over Dallas, dumping the puck in, having great forecheck, winning battles across the boards. Those are all little things that, you start, you play the small game here. You play small ball, you win those battles on the boards, and you're going to end up finding the back of the net. That's what the Avalanche did, and the Stars just kind of rolled over, I feel like, this game. And yeah, I guess, second period, maybe second half of the game, they started ripping shots and stuff, but at that point, it's just too little too late. I mean, Georgiev had momentum on his side by having a first good half of the game, and then, the Avalanche is not a team that you can just start off easy on and then try to come back with. Like, they're an incredibly talented team. And like you said, they're having an off year, and they're 36, 19, and 5,
Yeah.
And they're 23 and 6 at home. They have a tremendous home record here. You have to come in here in Colorado, and you have to play hard, physical hockey, which Dallas just did not. They just came out, I think, a little flat. Didn't play physical. I mean, Colorado out-hit you 33-17. Again, you play good defense in the third period, you hold them to no goals, but I mean, you got to come out of this game ready to go. They're just in, I think, some type of sluggish mentality. I don't know if maybe we can get, like some players or superstars to hype up the locker room, get the coach in there, give a good speech, but the Stars, we know, have the talent. Like, I'm not that worried about it, but again, just like the Kings, they'll go on their skid. They'll probably come back out at some point. I don't know. I guess if we want to really dive into look at the rest of their schedule upcoming, looks like that they have Winnipeg tomorrow, and then back-to-back games against San Jose, Anaheim, LA. I mean, that would probably be the time for them to come back. Maybe hopefully Colorado, a little wake-up call here. You do well against Winnipeg.
Yeah,
you beat them in a tight, in a tight game. Maybe it's like a 3-2 gritty third period. I mean, you hold them off defensively, and then you got back-to-back games against the Sharks. Those should be breezes, and then you'll play the Ducks, who aren't that great. Then you got the Kings, who are kind of struggling. The Dallas Stars will probably, they'll turn it around. I'm not that worried for it because, I mean, listen, you look at the rest of their season. I mean, I don't think they've lost more than 2 games in a row. Just looking back, other than just now, and this when they lost 4.
So get the bad ones out of the way. type of
Exactly.
deal.
So they're on their skid. They'll come out of it. I'm not that worried about them.
One of your other favorite teams goes down in overtime last night. The Penguins 4-3 in Vancouver. Vancouver blowing a 2-0 lead. Goals by Bozer and JT Miller. But Eric Carlson,
The OT winner.
the hero, his 8th goal of the season here. That's why they got him. Pittsburgh's been red hot.
Stop. Eric Carlson still has been having an underwhelming year. Let's not. I mean, again, he can turn it up. He can turn it around now. Certainly could. Again, the Penguins played a great game. I think, their grit and veteran mentality kind of had them win this one in OT. And they came down. I think you said they blew a 2-goal lead, right? Vancouver. They scored 2 in the first, I believe, even 1 in the second, too. But Pittsburgh battled back, scoring 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and most importantly, holding the Canucks to no goals in the third was huge for them. And also out shooting them for the second half of the game. Excuse me. And again, that just goes to the veteran mentality of the players and the Penguins squad there. Tristan Jarry playing a little bit on his own head here. I think had 32 saves on 35 shot attempts. It's a great save percentage there. And then of course, having the OT winner, that a play drawn up for OT for a certain player, it always helps. Eric Carlson, like a minute into the period, that's exactly what you want to do in overtime. You have a great team that knows how to use space when they're given it. It's 3-on-3. If this is a playoff series though, or in this instance, or a 7-game series, I would take the Canucks if this is the playoffs though, because it's 5-on-5 hockey in overtime. Yes, maybe the Penguins more momentum, but I don't think they score as quick. I think they get tired legs, and the Canucks certainly could take advantage of that. It's great. You look at the Penguins, Brian said they've been on a heater. They've won 3 in a row. They've beaten Montreal, but, most importantly, the Flyers. They're beating Vancouver now. And then they're playing Seattle tomorrow in Seattle, which, again, if the Penguins play anything like they did really last night, it should be a walk in the park against the Kraken. But I don't know. We'll see. I've been hard on the Penguins all year, really. They've been underwhelming. I think that they're a very old team. Tristan Jarry was having some struggles early on in the year. I'm just trying to bring up the standings here and where they're at. Of course, I got some internet. May have to go to the phone here, Domac. Let's see. They got to be in the 8th. Wow, in the 8th seed or something like that.
Can you see the TV?
Oh, yeah, I can. Actually, not really. We'll take Pittsburgh Penguins. Here we go. They're 62 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th spot here. 1 point back from Washington, 2 points back from Jersey, and then 7 points back from Tampa Bay. So they certainly have a lot of work to do. You're talking about they have to go up probably a 10-game winning streak or something if they're going to want to bunny hop these teams.
You're talking
in the
about
playoffs.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. 7 points behind, but Tampa, I could see falling out of that. And then Devils have been inconsistent. Yeah. We know about Washington. New York's tied with them, the Islanders, but we know they've been inconsistent as well. There is an opportunity, but like you said, full force ahead. But it helps when you have a goalie like Jarry, 6 shutouts this year. There is a chance.
Yeah, there certainly is a chance. You got to figure out ways to last long in games and to score earlier on. Yeah, I was saying too before. I feel like if this is a playoff scenario, and it's obviously in the scenario would be like the Cup final. But if this is a playoff series and you're going to overtime and it's 5-on-5 hockey, I probably would be taking the Canucks. Honestly, I would imagine. Another full period, not as much space. Pittsburgh's tired and old. Vancouver's young.
But you have a line with Malkin and Gensel, Carlson, Letang. That's a pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, naturally, and obviously, Crosby was in great too. But still, I think the fact that it was 3-on-3 really helped them. But obviously, great win. Like I said, they came back. Tristan Jarry held his own.
Yeah.
Because Vancouver is one of the better teams, arguably, the best team in the league. So, Good for the Penguins, but again, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, honestly.
Wow.
If I had to guess right now,
Who's grabbing that last wild card spot?
I mean, definitely not. I mean, the Islanders, I think, will stay put as well. Where are we? Where are the Devils? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're in the 9th spot right now. I guess them.
The Devils?
Yeah. I say they sneak it in there.
Wow. Down the stretch, both conferences to be interesting playoff wise.
Yeah.
And I know this might be biased just on teams that I like and stuff, but when I look at the Western Conference, give me 3 through 6 all day over 1 through 3.
Like you rather play 3 through 6?
Meaning, I think those teams are the best in the West, even though they're
really
3 through 6.
I see what you're saying. So like Colorado, Vegas.
I mean, I'll give Vancouver. I think they've had a really good year. Okay, but I think Jets and Stars aren't going to do anything come playoff time.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. It's interesting to see Vancouver at the top. It's really crazy, honestly.
Yeah. And what was it last year? The Jets most of the year were in first place.
Yeah,
kind of collapsed.
And then they collapsed at the end. Yeah.
So yeah, you never know, what you're gonna get, and it's funny. A common thing again, for tonight, scheduling. Not much really going on in the world of sports, and we're left with a national game, Blues Oilers,
2 games,
and our local game here, the Rangers and the Blue Jackets. But it just seems like a missed opportunity. Like, are they that worried about NBA Wednesday? Like, I would love to see the ratings that ESPN is going to get tonight. I mean, is it going to be that crazy for these regular season basketball games?
No, I mean, Domax probably get riled for them, right?
I mean, they're cool, but I mean, if we're going to talk about like where most of the ratings come from, I mean, I think Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, I feel like we're looking at more ratings coming for NBA watchers than.
And like you personally, I mean, do you really enjoy like tonight, for instance, Pelicans at Pacers 7:30 ESPN? Are you watching that game?
honestly, yeah, because the Pacers are supposed to be like a playoff contending team.
Right.
The Pelicans are trying to make in. We're trying to see if Zion's really going to start to put it together. That actually is going to be kind of a sick game in my opinion. But yeah, I'd be kind of interested in watching it. But
and then Lakers Clippers, the other half of that doubleheader.
Actually, that's not a bad doubleheader.
No, it's not. So. I don't know. I just think, I mean, give us more than 2 games. Tons of games tomorrow, which is interesting too, because I mean, I guess the NBA schedule usually on Thursdays is a little dialed back, but they're on TNT and hockey has all these games. I don't know. To me, it just kind of ass backwards.
I think they should still keep these games going because I feel like it's not. Like, how many overlapping NBA and hockey fans are there where like you can't put games on?
It's you like day. One or the other.
You know what I mean? I feel like I haven't met so many people that are like, yeah, I love NBA and I also love the NHL. Like, I feel like normally it's one or the other. Like, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue if they put at least 4 or 5 games of hockey on today instead of just 2.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
No, I agree there. Now, before we make our picks on these and do a mini frenzy. The Rangers, of course, back in action at the Garden, going for some revenge here against the Blue Jackets. This time around, you're going to see Igor Shesterkin in net. Merlinkus or however you say his name is going to be in net for Columbus. Of course, being at home, you're going to have more of an advantage than you did on the road, but I mean, how do we avoid another disappointing loss?
Igor Shesterkin.
But I think it's not just Igor because we missed out on a lot of offensive opportunities last game.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because I'm telling you right now, dude, I'm telling you, like Igor, like how often do I talk about like great defense converting to great offense? And Igor plays the puck beautifully.
True.
We've seen him have, his last start, that great, I think, stretch pass to Kreider, I think it was. He not only, can save pucks, but he can facilitate our offense, which is great. I mean, the Blue Jackets are going to absolutely pound it tonight, like without a doubt in my mind.
But listen, I know he can be an aid to the offense, but I still think it's like like Mika, I still think is sleepwalking. Like a perfect example. Like he's supposed to be one of our better players. What the hell is going on with him?
I don't know. I mean, again,
You think he doesn't like Laviolette?
No. It's not that. There's no way. I don't know. I think just maybe it's just one of those off years. I don't know. You watch him play, and I don't know. Again, he's great at everything besides the scoring. I feel he's tremendous vision on the ice. He's had some ridiculous passes and assists this year. And he plays great defense. He's a back checking forward, which is great. And I don't know, dude, but he's just like you see him fanning on shots. The last game against Columbus, he's fanning on one-timers. When like that should be his bread and butter. And I think that's a big reason why the power play has also suffered for us too. Because you look at past years, last season, even the beginning of this year. I mean, it's Panarin or Zibanejad like in the slot was looking for that one-timer, and I can tell you the last time Zibanejad had one of those one-timers.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at his stats. I don't know. I still think. I mean, again, like we mentioned, his assists. How many goals does he have? 25.
No. Does he even have 20?
Mika,
I think he has like 19 for some reason.
Let's see what we got here. A little hockey reference. He's got 19 goals, 35 assists.
Got to be 6 or 7 more of each easily.
Yeah.
At this point of the season.
I mean, 54 points is great, I guess. Yeah. I mean, last year was pretty great. 91 points, 39 of them coming from the goals. So obviously, at this point in the season, last year he's further along. In terms of bolstering his stat sheet. And I know him losing faceoffs has been really pissing me off. I guess he still has a 50% faceoff win, technically 49.9. But still, he's been on the downtrodden, I feel, and that kind of upsets me because he's supposed to be a good center that, again, can facilitate our offense. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I think maybe Laviolette can be maybe harder on him in practice, like get him some more opportunities, get his confidence up. Because, again, you see him make great plays this year. Can't knock that. I don't know. I mean, let's watch him a little bit, closely tonight, dude.
I want to see him like jacked up, not like just like the thing that pisses me off when I think of him too is like him in like a shootout. And I know, random situation, but like how he just like, tries to like tap it into the, like, come on, like where's the aggression, Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think that first line could use some help. I mean, he's on that first line with Kreider too. I think you can argue Kreider's been a little underwhelming as well.
But I mean, numbers wise, Kreider, way outperforming him this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's still getting his looks in front of the net using his body, and he's got great speed and stuff. But I mean, I think even in general, I think that first line suffered tremendously this season. Again, like when the season first started, it was that second line, Trocheck, Panarin, Kakko, even.
You know what I was just looking at, and I guess I don't know. I don't always go deep dive into hockey stats. I didn't realize Kreider doesn't really like get that many assists.
No, he's a big.
This is his career high right now, 25.
25.
Yeah,
that is kind of gnarly. But I mean, it makes sense when you think about his role. Just because he's that big body in front of the net. A lot of his goals come in for a lot of his plays is tip in goals and breakaway goals because of his speed.
Yeah.
He doesn't facilitate a lot of, I guess, other players scoring. Which is why I guess he works well with Zibanejad. But again, I mean, look at that line this year. It was a shit line. Starting Blake Wheeler, that really, I think, kind of slowed things down for them. I mean, think about that disparity of speed right there, just between Zibanejad and Kreider and then Blake Wheeler. Very, very interesting how they kind of have to deal with that. And again, they found the back of the net. Wheeler did. And I think maybe down the stretch of this season, maybe because, they're putting other players in that first line now since Wheeler is injured.
More success.
Maybe we'll see Zibanejad with a couple goals tonight.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. And you know what else is interesting too? Chris Kreider, and I know it was an historic year. 2 years ago, though, I believe team record 26 power play goals. Last 2 years combined 19.
Yeah, not good.
I mean, that was our calling card when we needed it. So it'd be nice to see him get going. On the power play. And Mika, like we said, like, let's go. The time is now. So I think what I was getting at is, Igor, can be of assistance on the offensive end, set the tone. And I do expect him to be strong in net, but I also think these offensive guys need to create offense themselves and take it upon themselves to really punch Columbus in the mouth, because I feel like it gets overlooked, but we lost both games in Columbus this year, and the only game we beat them at the Garden was in a shootout. So they've given us some trouble this year.
Yeah, seemingly they have. I think Goudreau has actually played well against the Rangers this season. I'm going to have to maybe dive a little bit deeper into that. And it is unfortunate because you're getting, Merzlikins here.
Coming off a heater.
Coming off a heater, dude.
Yeah.
So, and in a heater against you, by the way. So I mean that's
wow. Okay.
What I'm just saying, like they was against us that he did so well.
Wait, why'd you say you though?
Well, the proverbial you, dude. Okay.
Oh no, because I swear I thought you were talking about me, the minus 190. I thought that's what you were saying.
Oh my gosh, no, Brian.
So it seemed like a personal attack.
Are you taking them again tonight, dude?
They're minus 250. No, and the way that they play against, no. I'm not like putting any money on them. Obviously, picks. I mean, of course, I'm going to take them.
Would you put money on the Blue Jackets tonight?
No, it's just one of those things. Just stay away and just hope for the best. But I'm telling you, Tony, I know you're very confident.
I am very confident.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's tight again. But I guess we'll find out what you have to say about that, because it is time for a hockey frenzy.
All right. Hump Day in the NHL, and possibly our shortest hockey frenzy. We're starting early and often at 7 p.m. or not so often. The Rangers here in the Garden taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. We know what happened last time out. The Rangers dropping it in Columbus 4-2. Jonathan Quick, though, the ice cold start. Not tonight. Igor, red hot. The glove, the pad, the pass, the shutout, dude. We will see, though. But as I said, Rangers here, minus 250. That would give the Columbus Blue Jackets a nice little plus 210 if they're looking to get a little risky and frisky. Over-under is at 6.5 at the Madison Square Garden. What do you think about this game, Brian?
Yeah, like I said, the way that they've played against Columbus this year doesn't give me the mindset of they're going to come in, kick their ass, and it's going to be a laugher. I don't think it's going to go that way. I think they win, but like we've seen in the last couple of games against Columbus, it's going to be tight. But Igor, the star of the game, 40 of 42 in net. Rangers 3-2 in overtime. Mika Zibanejad awoken from the clouds. Rangers in the undertone.
All right. Let's go, dude. I will take the Rangers as well. I will take the under. I do think the Rangers are safe and happy at home here. Well rested, feeling pretty good. Igor is getting his second shutout of the season. We're getting Mika Zibanejad 2 goals and an assist. Kreider a tip-in power play goal on his own. I don't know. Give me Rempe, another goal and a fight for him. Let's freaking go. Rangers blank the Blue Jackets 5-0. Rangers in the under. Let's freaking go, baby. Josh B. Next game up, we're going to Edmonton. Here we go. Talk about Brian. Put a couple shekels on his favorite team, the Oilers, taking on the St. Louis Blues. And Brian's going to say 8:30 at home in Edmonton. The Blues are going to have it. Edmonton minus 275 over there in Edmonton. Over-under is at 6.5. Look at these two teams here. They faced each other earlier this month, and the Blues won 6-3. Brian, what do you think about that?
I think the Oilers getting the Blues on the heels of a back-to-back here. And I guess the Oilers actually are on a back-to-back as well, right? Yeah, they beat the Kings last night. So maybe some tired legs, leads to a lot of goals. But talent wins out here. I think Edmonton, 7, torching the Blues here, 7-4. So Oilers in the over, and just for Josh B, Zach Hyman with the hat trick.
Give me Oilers. I agree. I think Blues tired. But I say Oilers and the under. Oilers winning 3-2.
And that is your hockey frenzy. So the total in the Oilers game is going to decide who has a better night between me and you. So kind of interesting that way.
Kind of interesting. Excuse me. Make it interesting.
Pumped up to watch the Rangers though. And let's set the tone early. Let's not patty cake 0-0 first. 2 in the first, right? I mean, I don't think that's asking anything crazy. It's Merzlikins. Look at his numbers. He's not even playing well this year. He had one good game against us last year.
No, I mean, I totally agree. This is the time to come out there, punch them in the mouth. Laviolette tight, send a message. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. So that's coming up 7:00 on MSG. Before we wrap up, and Josh B did say Hattie boom boom batty. Let's get Domac in the mix for a second. Let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go! LeBron James at the buzzer! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
All right. So a lot of action in the NBA last night. One thing that stood out for me, and I know Domac being the big NBA guy that he is, saw this. The Cavs defeating the Mavs despite Luka's 46, 9-14. Max Struss from half court, Tony, for the win.
I did see that.
Unbelievable. I actually haven't seen the highlight. I don't know if we could pull it up. I'd love to see it.
Hold on. Man. No. Tony, what is the button to share?
It should be Shift S.
Shift S. Okay.
And hit the tab.
Base scores, share. This.
Oh, interesting. Went to the ESPN video.
Well, because it was right here. I thought it'd be faster.
Could be. They're going to slap you with a little ad action.
A little ad. As a certified Max Strus hater, I was pissed when I saw this. After I saw Luka make was it Luka? I don't know if it was Luka, but someone made the game leading layup, and then just to see that was brutal. And then hold on, you can just got it now. Add to stage. Bring this puppy up here. All right. Full screen this. Yeah, here's the play. It's not letting me. Oh, there we go. All right. So they score here.
Yep. Okay, so they get the layup. 2.6 on the clock. Timeouts.
This pissed me off, man.
Max Strus
beyond
half court.
Yeah, I know, dude. Stop it.
Wow, at the queue as well.
I
mean, Tony, I know you don't always get impressed, but I mean that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm watching it back right now. That is wow, just absolutely banged it, dude. I saw some guy too on Dallas was like right before he shot it, he was like flexing his arms.
Like the game was
over,
and
he's just and like he's looking at the hoop too. You just see and
what
just
a
fucking
tough look.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's brutal. So yeah, Luka, like I said, had a big game there. A lot of talk, Domac, about Dallas, really having a chance this year. I mean, we've seen them fall way short, didn't make the playoffs last year. Yeah. So the Luka Doncic tenure in terms of playoff success has been very underwhelming. But they have, had success on the court, playing better after kind of a tough start this year. They're now 33-25. Do you see them as a serious contender? I mean, I know obviously the thing, Luka and Kyrie, you always have a chance, but what about the rest of the team? Is there enough there?
I think so, because I think they have pieces that can. I mean, the only kind of issue is they're a little bit inconsistent. Grant Williams a little inconsistent. After he got traded, that's why he got traded.
Hardaway's
a little inconsistent. So if they're able to put a consistent couple series together, yes, they can make a run. And Derek Lively as their center, I think, will be fine. But if there's a year that a team like this with a little bit of inconsistency could do it, I feel like the West this year is the most open it's been in forever. Just because with all these new emerging teams, like I've rarely seen like an emerging team like first year in contention just all of a sudden go all the way and win it.
Right.
So normally those teams will get, maybe out of the first round, lose in the second. So the experienced teams normally like have better odds here. And with Luka being experienced and Kyrie being experienced and them two finally starting to mesh together, out of any year, I feel like this year, if the Mavs really want, is their window, because then OKC is going to get a lot better. Timberwolves are going to get a lot better. They're going to get that much needed playoff experience. So, like, this is really the year where the Mavs kind of got to come out of here and do something. Western Conference Finals at the minimum.
Yeah. I mean, there's just contenders all over the place. And, like, I wouldn't expect them to make a run just how much they've struggled this year. But, like, the Warriors, Chris Paul came back last night. They won. You never know what you're going to get there. The Pelicans blew out the Knicks at the Garden. I know, obviously, a lot of injuries for the Knicks.
Yeah, tons of
but Zion, I think, is having one of his better years, in terms of health as well, playing games. I have him on my fantasy team. Last night, 21 points, 5 rebounds. But the fact that go to his player page. I'm curious how many games he's played, but it seems like it's like some of the most. Okay, so he's played 48 games. I mean,
that's a lot of games.
Is
that
that his career high?
Yeah, honestly, that might be.
Because this is a guy who's missed a lot of time. Okay,
61
2 years ago,
but I think he's gonna hit that anyway. So
yeah.
He's gonna have a career high this year.
So they're a team to watch. Did you catch any of the Celtics 117-99 over the Sixers?
I saw that they blew them out after only making, I think it was either 2 or 5 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want everyone who thinks that we're just running like this 3-point Missoula ball offense, that we can win games when the threes aren't going in. So, I mean, with a grain of salt, because the Sixers, in my opinion, without Embiid, the Sixers are not even a playoff team.
Right.
If they start the season without Embiid, in my opinion, they're maybe an 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But, I mean, it's always good to win at home, especially, like, the only thing that's really keeping me positive about the Celtics is, like, they beat the good teams. Like, against teams that are below 500, we're, like, 22-1. Against teams that are above 500, we're, like, 22-4. Like, we have very good records against like bad teams, and even against good teams, we're still playing pretty well. So that those stats normally are kind of like an issue for me, because I felt like the Celtics in previous years, they would drop games to teams that like they just shouldn't be dropping in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And then come end of year, instead of us having a rest and coast as a 1 seed, we're fighting with Milwaukee for the 1 seed because they're dropping games against the Hornets in January, when the Hornets aren't playing for the playoffs since 10 years ago. So.
Yeah. So, be interesting to see, how they put everything together down the stretch. But of course, been a great season for the Celtics now, 46-12, including 27-3 at home. An embarrassing home loss for the Bulls. They lose to the Pistons, 105-95. Cade with 26. I'm almost shocked, because it seems like, with DeRozan there, Vucevic. I mean, I know obviously Lonzo Ball's missed the last couple of years. But that they haven't just completely gutted that roster. I don't know what they're doing. And you would think Vucevic would have had, a lot of trade value at the deadline.
Yeah. I don't know what they want. Maybe they were thinking like Zach LaVine was going to come back, because I think he was hurt around that time. He was going to come back, and maybe they were going to make a run. But like, even before that, they were still, I mean, I guess maybe because they're a 500 team, they think they can make it. But like, I don't know, with the way they've been playing, even compared to expectations, I'd get rid of the record. Just like expectations, you guys are so far below expectations. Like, you got to blow that up. Or maybe they're like talking with Lonzo, and like maybe they know something. Like Lonzo's going to come back, and like next year they're going to give it one more run and then blow it up. I have no clue what the Bulls are doing. Like, I would rather almost be a Pistons fan than a Bulls fan, because if I'm a Pistons fan, like I know what direction I'm in.
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm all for having some sort of direction than being like a Timberwolves team. You're sitting at 500, and then your team doesn't buy or sell, and you're just sitting there. Like, I don't understand like what good comes out of it, like at all. And especially losing by 10 of the Pistons, it's just tough. But I mean, go wait for the Pistons though. You know what I'm saying? They're meshing a little bit better. They're probably pumped after that win. They're only their 9th win of the year. I mean, geez,
that's ridiculous.
Jesus,
and I think they gave their coach Monty Williams $85 million.
Yeah.
It's like, is he even going to make it through year 2? I mean, after this record,
he's going to have to, because he's not going to go anywhere else unless he gets fired and they eat the contract.
Like, what's the deal there, man? Is it just
too many young players, that don't play defense, that don't have good fundamentals?
Do you think if you coach, you can have more wins at this point?
Yeah, because I'd say Cade, just take every shot.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my God,
dude. I'd be like, run the offense through Cade, pick and roll Cade Williams or Cade Cunningham. Like, it would be easy. I think I can get 15 wins.
And it's interesting, kind of, I mentioned the 2 games on ESPN tonight. And that Pelicans Pacers game, if Zion back to back, if he sits, kind of takes a little juice out of it. But
Definitely.
the Pacers, especially since they added, Siakam and have been playing better lately. We know all about Halliburton. But I don't know. I just don't see them really like having success in the playoffs. And I know you just mentioned, that's kind of what you want to watch just to see how they do. I mean, do you really take them seriously as a contender in the East? 33-26 now.
I don't take the Pacers as a contender at all, just because I don't know. I just don't like the way they like just overall. I feel like when the certain games that they lose and like sometimes it's down the stretch, I just don't see them being able to like put games away.
Right.
And especially if they're not like a team that's going to get home court advantage. Like if they're a bottom team where they have to play like away 4 out of the 7 games, like I don't see them coming back. Like you're talking about the Cavs, you're talking about Milwaukee, you're talking about Boston, and you're talking about New York. Those will be the 4 top teams. If you play any of those teams, like maybe the Cavs, but other than that, like you're not beating any of the other top 3 teams. So I don't see how they even make it out of the first round. The only way they make it out of the first round is if somehow in the regular season they go on a run so that they play a bottom seed in the first round. But yeah, I don't see them making it out of the first round. I agree.
And then, I mentioned the other game, Battle of LA, Clippers, Lakers. Kind of crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen it this late in the season. The entire Pacific is over 500. So the Lakers, 31-28, are actually last in the Pacific. And typically, since LeBron, has come to the Lakers, they've struggled against the Clippers. This year, they've won 2 out of 3.
Yep.
This is the last matchup of the season, but last time out, back on January 23rd, they lost 127-116. It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Paul George is going to be out for this one. But the Clippers are still favorites, -3.5 here. Lakers, I mean, they've really had an up and down year. What do you think about this game?
In my opinion, these games for the Lakers, if they really want to make a push and a run, these are the games where like you got to win, make some statement, get like some like morale going, get some energy, thinking like we can beat like these like high end teams, like high West standing teams, and like you can't take these games for granted. Like these games, they got to value way more than, even though like those below 500 wins are just as important so that you can stay in the playoffs. These wins will help you. So come playoff time, you're sitting there, you're like, all right, we know we can beat these dudes. Like, huge game for them, in my opinion, especially with Paul George not there. Like, I feel like that's even more chance for them to really get a good win going, especially after, you lose the Suns and you lose the Golden State. Those are out of the 5 last games you played, the 2 playoff teams you played, you lost to. So, like, we really got to start winning against playoff teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I mean, I can't believe it. I thought he was like, I mean, it's like, why even have him on your team at this point? How Harden's been playing this year, averaging 17.3 points per game, 8.3 assists, and even shooting efficiently 41% from 3-point range. I really can't believe what a difference he's made. It seemed like he was really not a team player.
Yeah.
Obviously his last couple of stops, forcing his way out. Or really if you think about it, everywhere he's played, he's forced his way out.
The 110%. He forces his way out of every single situation. And I don't know what it is about Ty Lue, but he just got him and Russell Westbrook to like just kind of like get in line. And I don't know if it was a little bit of Kawhi and PG also talking to him, be like, yo, like, why don't we just like let's play our roles, let's do our thing, and let's kind of like get a run going. But this is the best basketball I've seen him play since, I don't know, even in Philly he was playing well, but I feel like this is the best I've seen Harden play since he had a couple spurts in Brooklyn, but like when it comes to pure efficiency, I mean, he's not putting up the numbers like he did in Houston, but like he's also not taking, I feel like, as many shots.
He's a third option.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but when he's there and they're running through him, I mean, he's just as effective as he was in Houston with the pick and roll and the facilitating. Like he's a phenomenal piece for them. And then being able to have Russ come off the bench and it be so easy for him to run with the second unit is just, they're so lethal. I didn't know they were going to be this good.
And I think, like you had mentioned, Ty Lue definitely, deserves some credit here.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was ridiculous when the Cavs, after they lost, LeBron, after he left Cleveland the second time, they fired him like 5 games into the season because he didn't want to play younger guys. always thought that was crazy. And he's had a good record with the Clippers since he came over. Obviously has to take the next step, but getting a lot of out of Westbrook. And I think one thing too with Westbrook that's made him better, obviously his 3-point shooting, of course, is still terrible, but he's under 1 attempt, or he's under 3 attempts per game for the first time since 2010. So, he's been forcing those threes for a while. So he's doing a good job on the second unit. And for him, 45% from the floor, we've seen him shoot well under that. So he's done a good job. So it'll be interesting to see if they can finally, kind of get over that hump together, in the Western Conference. Last thing here, if you had to give me one lock with the spread tonight, what would you say?
Oh boy.
With the spread.
If you had to walk the plank, Delmac.
First of all, I hate always picking, like, every time in basketball there's a 10+ spread, like minus 12.5, minus 11.5. I'd never pick those because dude, to bet on someone to blow them out is crazy.
But Wolves Grizzlies,
I don't know, dude. 13. I just like, if they have just one average game, you know what I mean? It's going to be a 10-point game,
and they could lose. Technically, they have a terrible game.
I think honestly, I like to bet on the close ones, like the Maverick Raptor one. I feel like that's a lot.
Okay,
because like the Lakers could be competitive in minus 3.5. The I could see the Mavs winning by 15. Like, I think that the Mavs Raptors definitely a lock. If I had to pick a second one, it was the Clippers Lakers. I could see the Lakers winning by 6, 5
without Paul George.
You know what I'm saying? But if LeBron really, if the Lakers step up, I can also see them winning. That's why Mavs. That's my lock for sure.
If I had to say, I'm actually going to go Pacers because I have a feeling Zion, second night of a back-to-back, is going to sit out.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree.
Team without him is a shell of themselves. So be interesting to see, what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's really what we have going on in the world of sports. But once again, I would like to thank everybody who tuned in today and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, merch, downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy the games. Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers! Tony was a little late on that one. Michael at the buzzer, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.